So let's continue the presentation of the RadCORE project. Well, we've seen so far some features on how we can produce responsiveness. We've seen some details about the use of theme control. Let's take a look now at how simple it is to use RadCORE. From time to time, some user asks, Flavio, I'm going to change the components. I'm going to have to do what I have. I already have a project in UniGUI developed. How am I going to reuse it? So guys, the great asset of RadCORE, from what you have already been able to observe in these few the videos that we have produced before, is that RadCORE was developed thinking about all types of users, especially users who already have applications developed with standard UniGUI that will be able to reuse 100% of the components you have in the native UniGUI, because RadCORE doesn't change. The components, you're just going to improve what you already have with these few examples that we saw. You can see when we transported the edits from one place to another. So, still a little, we took a look. I'm going to restart the UniGUI mega demo here, but so Fishfax is a native application of UniGUI that we have already ported it. We have already migrated it as a demonstration to the standard of RadCORE, okay? So let's see how the Fishfax app turned out on UniGUI itself. I'm going to take it here, so we can take a slight jump. Let's say it's in our presentation just to demonstrate. Okay, this is this project, so I'm going to leave it running here. As I told you at the beginning, the RadCORE, it has the models that you can create, so this. Here is a model that we call Mega Demo, right? The Mega Demo Brazil. Okay, we have the Mega Demo Brazil, Mega Demo Global. The difference between them is that Brazil is going to be specific to Brazilian users, and the global one, it comes with translations. It's useful for users outside of Brazil. Well, so I'm going to grab our app here. I'm going to refresh it here. I'm not going to go into detail right now with what you're going to see from other layouts. I'm just going to go here to the project, then I'm going to go into detail about what you guys are looking at here. But I just want to get in here on our mega demo, and I'm going to open up here one of the projects that come with RadCORE itself, which is Fishfax. Look at the difference we have here from Fishfax done with RadCORE. Oops, let me correct my expression. I didn't do it with RadCORE. I just brought the components of the UniGUI project into RadCORE and applied responsiveness. I just did it based exactly on the examples that I used to do it. You saw it in the first videos, where I brought the components, I used Blockify and I applied this responsive system, but if you look at it, it's the same components, it's the same edits, the memo, the radio group, they're here in the same way. And you can see how everything looks different. The grid looks different. We have a new set of buttons, which is our RC paginator, instead of the standard UniGUI components. So we have greater flexibility in the positioning of this bar. We have features in the refresh that it gives the full refresh of the grid, unlike the UniGUI refresh, which for it to give the full you have to make an internal change, because it only refreshes the current page. There are a number of improvements that we're going to talk about later. I'm just still in the stage of talking about layout, right? Just layout for you. Okay, so these are the details. The radio group, the difference from ours, our radio group, hardcore, so. How is the radio group of UniGUI, and remembering those details that we will not have such a loss of spacing because of a change of theme. It's always good to make this memory. It's this of this detail, okay, and the main difference, people here, it's all responsive, right? So you have such and such your application, Xenio here, it's all responsive, it's on your cell phone or on your computer wherever you have access, okay, you're going to have your application responsive. So, this whole process of migrating your application from standard UniGUI to hardcore is going to be very simple. This UniGUI part for hardcore is very simple. Practically you will transfer what you have here, your business rules, etc. Now, let's make an add-on. I'm going to go back to our previous demo, but I want to show you one more feature of our RC elements. So what am I going to show you? I'm going to open up here, guys, an application that I have, which is my RP VCL. So this right here is a VCL application. So imagine you don't have an NGIV application, you have a VCL application and you want help with migration to bring that application to the web. So I have a VCL registration here, and I'm even using the Canopika components, which is the Raise suite, that is, they are not native VCL components. So what am I going to demonstrate to you? I'm going to open ours. Sorry guys, I was changing the monitor here and I let you bring the application here, so here's my VCL application, okay? It's every VCL application, and as I said before, Raise components are not native VCL components, so imagine the situation where you have a VCL application and you want help to migrate that application to the web. Then hardcore will help you too. I always say that hardcore isn't a magic bullet, but you'll have the tools and means to make this migration process faster, but it's not going to be an overnight thing. So I have examples of project migrations that lasted a week, I have projects that lasted 3 months, I have a project that lasted 6 months, and there are projects that lasted more than a year, giant projects. The biggest case of hardcore is in England, and we'll talk about that later. It was a gigantic project that was all developed in standard UniGUI, and then, due to the lack of responsiveness, it was fully developed again using the resources of the radio code. Okay, we're going to talk about this guy, right? Then okay, so imagine that I'm here with my project. Okay, I'm going to delete here that what we put here on the screen, okay, in fact, I'm not going to eliminate, I'm just going to remove it from here, okay, and then I'm here, it's going to be with a form and I want to migrate my VCL form, okay, I want to migrate my VCL to here. Well, the form itself is not compatible with UniGUI, the standard components are not compatible, so there has to be a migration. And this migration is not going to be automated, it's going to have to be screen by screen, right? So that's the proposal that I deliver additionally. Will it be enough for you? I don't know, it has been for many users, but each one will know how to proceed. The important thing that I always talk about, you're going to migrate your application without ever needing HTML, without ever needing to know HTML, and without ever needing HTML templates, so that's the focus of thought that you have when you go to work with hardcore and want to migrate your application, you're going to. It's free of this dependence on needing to know, okay, and using HTML templates, because everything is going to be native. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to take here, just as an example, I'm going to take this label, this edit, I'm going to take this label, this date time picker, this one, I'm going to take here, the. Without PJ, I'm going to take the fantasy name, okay, and I think it's enough. It's just these components, just so we can have an idea, okay, so I could be getting everyone, but I'm taking it part by part, because the migration needs to go through the responsive process, okay, so I'm going to grab it here now and I'm just going to copy it to my clipboard, I'm going to open up my project here, which we created, right, demo project, I'm going to trigger RC Elementos e I'm going to come over now to another action, which is VCL tuning. I'm going to click on it, it's going to ask if I want to work with the DBLR components or not. I'm going to say yes, because originally my components are DBLR. So, what happened here, guys? RadCORE, RC Elements, converted the raise components automatically into unilabel, unIDB date, unIDB date time, everything for you so quickly, like all with the same nomenclature. It's all here with this. I've already saved some time. Okay, we're going to do it now. After the conversion, we're going to use the same resource as us. We made the first videos, that is to use the block and does to transform our components into responsive blocks. Okay, so once I have the components on the canvas, I'm now going to select the block of components, label and edit, and I'm going to apply my block here. File, and then now I'm going to take each set that we have of our application and the hardcore will convert it for you into responsive blocks. People, imagine you take this from here and have to transform it using HTML so you can have access to responsive resources. Okay then. Here you won't have this need. Okay, so quickly I convert my VCL components, raise components, and you will be able to use DevExpress components, Jedi components, Cochlear. The list is vast and the VCL immigration process for UniGUI is super simple to be added new suites. Of components to do the conversion of those components by default from hardcore. We have done here our quick demonstration of VCL immigration to UniGUI, and we will now have the result. So there's our first components directly from VCL and stuff to the web. Perfect. So guys, we're here one more time and we'll see you in the next video.